when Bill steps on the brake, trying to avoid a collision with this bridge. And boy, I tell you, that was an intense moment. 6 people, all basketball players, in this large car. Bill tries to maneuver to avoid this bridge, but it was unavoidable. We hit it. And as he was fastly approaching us, and this was on a 2-way road, and when we saw him make that turn, and as he was coming back in our direction to go back to the direction where the convenience store was at, we had no weapons, but we did have a big Jolly Roger glass 32-ounce bottle. Somebody shouted, "Get him, get him!" I jumped out as the driver pulls over on the side, and keep in mind, this was intense and this was fast. And as that Furry 3 started coming back to our direction, and it was moving fast, and we pulled over, and I had a foot out on the ground with this glass Jolly Roger soft drink bottle in my hand. And the crew in the car was screaming, "Hit him, hit him!" Talking about mob mentality is never good, because we have a tendency to do things that we would normally do. And they were screaming, "Hit him, hit him, hit him!" And I jump out of the car with one foot on the ground, and I sling that bottle as that 4-3 was approaching us. I tried to time it, and it barely missed him right over the front of his windshield. Temper still flaring. "Let's get him, let's get him." You can hear the echoes of those in the car. I close the door. We turn around in pursuit of this 1967 Fury 3. And then as we approach, we fly through this little small town, you can call it a community, and we go through, boom, boom, both cars as we pass that store. And you can see Coca John and the other ballers, they were still there at the store, because we had taken off in such a hurry, and we left them, and they were still there. And we flew through that town, boom, boom, high rate of speed. They didn't have any police officers because the town was too small. And you can see Coca John and those guys saw us fly through. And then from that convenience store, we went maybe 2 miles away from it. And then as we were on the main road, and we saw this Fury 3 turn off of the main road onto a smaller road. And we stopped on the highway, on the main highway, as we looked down that road in which we saw that Fury 3 going. And we were just watching, and you can hear the echoes in the car. "Get him, let's go, let's go." Now our driver, the assistant coach's nephew, he turns down this road, and we stop. And then from a distance, you can see that Fury 3 turns his lights off. Then we just stay there paused, watching in darkness. The only lights are our headlights. We're in the woods. And then you saw the brake lights of this Fury 3 come on, and it turned right. Then it just disappeared again. And you can hear a couple of guys saying, "Let's go get him, let's go get him." It's amazing the things you do when you're angry, upset, frustrated. And as we drive down this road, probably 300 yards deep from the highway, all of a sudden, lights came on, boom, from a distance in front of us. And there was this vehicle. Then it just all of a sudden came directly toward us, and it just went around us. And it was a truck. And then it stops, probably maybe 40, 50 yards. And then both doors of that vehicle opened, and they left them open. And you can see there are silhouettes from the light behind them with their doors open, began to walk toward us. But before they got out of the car and that stopped, we were screaming, "Let's get out, let's get them." Keep in mind, we have no weapons, but we're infuriated with what had happened, and tempers are still boiling. And we open our doors. And when we open our doors, and I had one foot on the ground, and the back door was also open, and the other player was about to get out. And then they opened their truck doors, walking toward us. And I could hear the other player say, "They got guns." I'm looking back as well and you can see with the light behind them, they're walking toward us. Two men, each had a rifle in their hands. And then suddenly our driver said, "They're trying to box us in." There was a vehicle in front of us that came from nowhere. Its lights were out, and suddenly it turned its lights on. Imagine this. You're boxed in. You don't know who the people are in front of you that came toward you with their lights out. Now their lights on in their vehicle, and you have a truck parked behind you with both doors open, and people are walking toward you with rifles in their hands, and you're in the woods. 3 black students, 1 white driver. And then we close our doors and panic because we now see what we're being faced with, guns and being boxed in. And then our driver